Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for another stream on the channel. Welcome back to another transfer deadline day latest. And yeah, lots happened since we've gone off from the first time. Obviously, big up to everyone who watched the stream earlier on. And yeah, there's been quite a bit of transfers regarding Mcateer, the Conor Coady one. And yeah, a bit more to discuss. Guys, as always, get involved, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already, then please get down and do so. It'd help me out massively if you can. And yeah, let's get cracking. So earlier on today, Will Alves, of course, completed his loan deal to Cardiff City, where he'll go out on loan for the rest of the season. Obviously, big potential, Will Alves, and, you know, a very good winger. I think it was best he did go out on loan and then come into the first team next season. Bit like we did with Dewsbury, didn't we? A few years ago. He went to Luton, didn't he? Blackpool. Then you got Harvey Barnes, who went on loan to West Brom and that. So, yeah, we're going to discuss everything. Hi, Jack. It gets better and better. I mean, I heard there's been scenes at Seagrave where there's a signing potentially at Seagrave, a medical for nobody signing. Yeah, he's going through his medical now. I've heard in the last few seconds he's pulled up, injured, and he won't be signing for the club. So yeah, nobody signing will not be happening. And yeah, like Rob Tanner says, Leicester are not getting anybody in. So I don't know. What sort of money was offered for Mcateer? 8 million quid with a loan with an obligation which could rise to 10 million with add-ons. So the thing is, that's good money. It is, you know. It's not like we've brought him in the past and, you know, went to him. But any more news on that winger from Lazio? Nothing on him. Like I said, Leicester City have been very much interested FC, haven't they? Twiddle the thumbs FC. What have we actually done this transfer window? You can have Dennis offers for 30 million. Mate, we couldn't even bloody afford 30p to spend on this bloody transfer window, let alone bloody 30 million. I'd rather keep Coady because of his leadership. I mean, yeah, it just screams of Ryan Bennett, doesn't it? Again, you get what I mean? It really screams of Ryan Bennett again, you know? I mean, yeah, I bet the word from the Wolves hierarchy was how much? Well, that was the question they asked when they were on about Conor Coady's wages, you know? When he said to them, you know, I'm on 100 grand a week at Leicester, do you reckon you could give me a bit more? You know, push it a little bit? Yeah, Leicester basically turned it down anyway, but I would have sold Mcateer £10 million. Not taking that. Would you take Ward-Prowse? I would. Would it happen? No. Leicester can't get any more loans in this window. Obviously, we've got Edward, who's sitting on a wage packet of 90 grand a week, who's played only 94 minutes for Leicester this season. So, yeah, at least the women's Leicester team scored a goal against Everton. Their defence is better than ours. I mean, they lost 4-1 yesterday. Not taking a combined £12 million for Luke Thomas and Kasey Mcateer is scandalous. That's pure profit. We'll never be offered that kind of money for those again. Rooking out. Yeah, Luke Thomas, I think it was last week, we got offered £5 million by Hoffenheim. Well, €5 million, which works out about £4.2 million. I was going to say £42 million then. So we can definitely snap the round off. Get weaker every January FC. I mean, we can't even get Craig Dawson in. you've just got to laugh. I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, as the saying goes. We should sign Quansah from Liverpool. Not bringing a centre back is catastrophic. We can't and won't stay up with the jokers we've got at the back end currently. I mean, if you watched Everton's recent video of the goal what they scored, I think it was Beto, the second one. Vestergaard in bloody fast. I don't know. I could see trouble brewing before the Arsenal game. We won't sign anyone, unfortunately. I don't see the point. Well, I mean, what we got? 5 hours and 11 minutes in whatever seconds it is. So, yeah, well, you know, we have to pay Edouard off to scrap the loan if Palace can't sell him. Well, the thing is with Edouard, you see, when we tried offloading him back to Palace, it was like, well, we can only do it if you, with them recalling him. So the thing is, Edouard turned down a £15 million move to Atlanta. Palace got offered 15 million. They said to Edouard, would you go? And he said no. So it's probably they offered him less wages than he's on. Can't we get anyone like Cambiasso, what loan, mate, if he wants to come out of retirement? Take Andy King at this point and all. But yeah, Rob Tanner has tweeted. Where is his tweet? Let me know. Yeah, someone said total shit show. Yeah, it is. It is. Even the Man United tickets, they've gone from an allocation of 3,099 to 1,340. I mean, that is absolutely madness. I mean, I'm not surprised by the prices that they've put out for that. But, yeah, it is madness. The thing is, you've gone from appointing Cooper to signing Oliver Skip for £25 million, a Coady for £14 million. Decord over Eden are you on 3-year deals? They got a pay rise to come here, by the way. None of which improves the starting 11. Gifting Vestergaard a 3-year deal as well. It's sabotage. It just sums Leicester City up in a nutshell. My mate Lee, big up to Lee, by the way. Go and follow him on Instagram, LCFC78Lee. Yeah, go and follow him. He's on about where is it? He says about this. Vestergaard and Decker Overeed 3-year deals. I use on a 2-year deal. Conor Coady's gone from 70 grand to 100 grand a week. Danny Ward's on 50 grand a week. He turned down £4 million for Luke Thomas. Turned £10 million down for Mcateer. Make that make sense. And then someone says a booking a profit in a region of 12 to 15 million for 2 academy players. But this is it. The club's remarkable inability to move on players they don't want is in a league of their own, whilst the ability to recruit, scout, news one seem existent, even when taking into account budget restrictions. Yeah, it's deeply depressing to say there is no likely way the direction this club is on changes under the current regime. Mistakes off the field haven't been learned, but sadly neither will they on it. And the players celebrating Cooper's sacking will likely haunt this group. Yeah, that's what other people have said on, obviously, Twitter, better known as X. But we're actually a weaker squad than we were on January the 1st. The fact that that's been allowed to happen is criminal. Well, this is it. 69 of you viewing. Really appreciate everyone coming in and giving me their time and getting their comments. And as always, if you can, hit that like button for me. Share it, whatever. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the subscribe button for me. It's free. I'm not going to charge you a penny. I know it's transfer business window and that, but yeah, I'm not going to charge you a penny, man, to follow the final whistle, you know. So don't worry. There's no transfer fee involved. Terry, need a complete clean out at the club. Needs restructuring top to bottom. Atlanta are paying 22 million for Latte Laugh. Yeah, I know you got to laugh, haven't you? It's rotten to the core. We don't deserve to stay up. I mean, yeah, you got a point. We sound like a veteran side when you read out the age and the contracts. I mean, well, I mean, this is it. You see, I mean, we offered Ryan Bertrand, I think it was, once upon a time on a free 80 grand a week. So yeah, we're just not learning. Ruud van Nistelrooy will leave, and I don't blame him. Yeah. During the Moyes versus Ruud van Nistelrooy poll, I had chosen Moyes and I was 25%. Yeah, we took the gamble and I won't blame him. But see, Everton Moyes had the same squad Dyche had, but see the difference. We got £20 million for Oliver Skip. You did get £20 million. You've had Leicester's pants down for that, mate. Let's be honest. Bang average championship player at best. £8 million are probably paid, but nothing more close to 20. I mean, it's a bit disrespectful, if I'm honest. But you've seen Rudkin coming, haven't you? You've seen him park on Tottenham Hotspur's drive and said, you know what, have a cup of tea, Rudkin. Let's negotiate. And you've seen him coming, man. Think they are generally hoping Ruud walks so they don't have to pay him. But the thing is, Terry, they've lied to him, haven't they? They've lied to him. You know, Ruud takes this job. He said when they spoke in Knightsbridge and that before that the club would back him and they'd give him funds to spend in January, bringing his own players and that. And what have they done? The complete opposite. They've not backed him. They've not gave him any funds. They've gave him £1.7 million, I think it was, what we brought a Coady for. And it's diabolical, mate. Some of the decisions are laughable. Rudkin sees coming out of Smith's with a box of Rudkin letting everyone walk over. The combined age of our front three from the last game, D. Cordova, Jamie Vardy and Jordan Ayew, is a combined 103 years old. Rudkin should walk. Ruud should walk out in the protest. No wonder Potter turned us down. He knew. This is it. I know people criticise Graham Potter, but why did Potter turn Leicester down? I think it was because he knew the mess Leicester were in. And, you know, he asked questions and they just wouldn't answer him. You know, he had a right to ask the questions before taking the job. You know, and I just think he thought, nah, this ain't for me. It's a mess. Sorry about that. Someone might be at the door, but we'll carry on. But yeah, no wonder. Yeah, sold out Rodgers, Enzo, and now Ruud. I think Rodgers knew more than what he was led on. Obviously, Brendan spoke about a big rebuild, didn't he, before? And I think Brendan knew. Obviously, you sell Fofana, £80 million, you know, and then you bring Mark Fassett in 15 million quid. I think Brendan knew a lot more than he let on. Maybe this situation, it goes further than it is. Enzo, the Sensi deal last January, which didn't happen, the documents and that, and then he ended up obviously going through it. Maybe, I think Enzo were fuming at that point. Enzo, I think his lid blew at that point, you know. He was simmering, Enzo, and as soon as the club didn't back him and they didn't tell him what he wanted and stuff like that, then that becomes a problem of incompetence, you know, where they were never honest with him from the start and he ended up leaving in the end. Obviously, Chelsea come in with triple his wages and that, which he's not going to turn down, is he? But Enzo knew the situation at Leicester and he called it out for what it was, the board. He wanted a new sporting director as well. The club said no, so Enzo thought, you know what, I'm out. But, you know, well, Leicester City are bang average championship team anyway. Ian, I think you've got a kind of point there, mate, with some of the quality that we've got. They're just championship level, aren't there, some of them? This is it. Welcome to the show, though, Ian. Really appreciate you popping in, mate, as always. All started with Rodgers. Get Baz in from Happy Mondays to run the club. Can't be any worse. Hello, Tripe and Onions. How are you, fella? Why send Alves out on loan better than the clowns we have now? This club is finished alongside Rudkin is under control. Our club must be a social experiment right now. How can he collapse in the space of 2 years? I now respect Enzo for leaving us. He deserved to leave. Yeah. We are in a mess because of Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. I mean, people have got to take blame, haven't they? Pure accountability. You know what I mean? And it just feels like none of that's happened, does it, Ian? To be fair, it's just like no one's taken any accountability for what's happening, you know? It all started a few years back, didn't it? 3-4 years. And it just hasn't been sorted. You know, it's just happened. Who'd want to work with this one? What is stopping Top from getting rid of Rudkin? Must have something on him. I don't know, mate, to be fair. We are in embarrassment. And if you fancy coming on, mate, and giving me views on that, we'll chat about everybody else. We'll chat about Coady. We'll chat about Mcateer. We are on here for a little bit, so if you want to come on, we are in a Rudkin and Top. Rodgers was complicit in the downfall, but he did warn us. He warned us when there was plenty of time to save the day. Now, look, yeah. Rodgers has got to take blame for part of it, hasn't he? Let's be honest. He was here when it was happening, and bring back Dean Smith. Jesus. It's mad how bad Leicester have fell off since the 2021 FA Cup. It's been a big, massive fall off. I'll jump on in 5 minutes. Yeah. Trust me, begging of the end was where Kasper left. Yeah. See, this was a situation I said about Schmeichel leaving. Do you get what I mean? And then you're replacing him with Danny Ward. It's like, look, man, we could have signed him for like 8 to 10 million pounds, and then we decided to opt against it. Now look how good he is. Do you know what I mean? We've missed out on some right players on loan. Why did we recall Brandon Cover then send him back out on loan against Fleetwood? I don't know, Terry, mate. It's just decisions are laughable. How can just hating Rodgers just got us the FA Cup, blame the doing us on the board? Yeah, fair play. Brendan did win us the FA Cup. Fair play to him, but I do think this situation's been going on since he was here. I'm not saying he's the whole blame or whatever it is, but I'll jump on in 5 minutes. Hello, Neve. How are you? Hope you're well. Haven't seen you in a while, Ant. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, big up, Ant. Big up everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's good. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. There's 70 of you watching. So if you can all subscribe, it is free. I'm not going to charge you a transfer fee or a service charge. So, yeah. But no, get involved as always. We're always good to hear, to chat, to hear your views and all that, on Leicester City and what you're thinking. And yeah, it's just a platform to get everything off your chest, basically. Rodgers knew about PSR. Yeah, I think he did as well. What did we do with the recent loan against TV funds? I think that's just to run the club on a regular basis. I think it is. I think it's just to run it on a day-to-day thing. I think Susan Whelan now, like Rob Tanner says, doesn't really have a lot to do with the football side of things now. Last time she did was when she sold Harry Maguire to Man United. So that was Susan Whelan doing the wheeling and dealing back then for the Maguire deal. Got 80 million out of Man United. And yeah, this is it. She runs the club now on a general basis, innit, Who would your ideal replacements be for Fassi Vestergaard? What, in the current squad? Like a current squad, I'd say Ben Nelson. Only maybe. We don't care about Rudkin. He don't care about me. All we care about is LCFC. Well, yeah. Like I said, we'll always back this team no matter what. The fans just want to see the club do well. We'll support the club to the court. How can we moan about PSR but not sell Thomas and Kasey? Both bang average championship players as well. We are a disgrace on and off the pitch. The thing is, that would have been pure profit for Leicester if we'd sold them 2 players. But the thing is, Thomas and Mcateer, I think they played about 6 or so games between them. But I don't know. The thing is, Mcateer's not signed a new contract, has he? Thomas is just not playing, is he? I think he's only gamer against bloody Aston Villa. Vestergaard signed a new deal. What are we ever going to do when they're not Premier League level? We are spending future money. There is a problem. The sad reality is Vishal was the manager, top inherited it, and as he's got friends of Rookie now, he hasn't had the ball second. You've got to have ruthlessness, haven't you? Obviously, that's the thing when you run a football club, and that's about having ruthlessness, making the big decisions, and that like if you could bring in 2 realistic transfer targets to replace them both, so obviously not someone like Rudiger. Hey, if you're offering me Rudiger, I'm taking it. He'd do far better. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. Who's anyone else think? Do you think Top is selling the club? No, I don't. I don't think he is. I think he's committed, Top. I think he's committed to the club. For sure. I'm thankful for everything the family's done for this football club. Better defenders in the under-23s, give them a chance. The problem is every fan expects to spend money we do not have. This will be a painful time for a few years. Yeah, I think you've got a point here, honestly. But the thing is, surely the club should come out with a statement and say, you know what, this is the problems, this is what's happening and not happening. Like Bristol City did, Ian. I don't know if you've seen Bristol City's statement from yesterday. They come out with a statement yesterday saying to the fans, addressing it all of what's happening and what isn't. And it's just like, we're not doing that here. You know what I mean? We'd have a far more understanding of the situations and that. But we hear a lot more in the media from the Athletic and all that, than what we hear from our own club. Do you get what I mean? So this is it. It's like we're too private, Apparently we sold 1,200 tickets for Friday night. Yes, we have. Most likely but yeah, let's get on to some of the transfer news that is out and about at the minute regarding the transfers. Kasey Mcateer. I mean, I probably should go on the... I'll tell you what. Let me go on X and then let me get it on a bigger page. Let me get this on a bigger page because I don't want people having to... who's that? Jordan Torunariga could join Leicester on a free in the summer. That's from African Foot. That's an interesting one. Is he Chelsea, is he? Let me have a look. Let me see if Tanner's got it on here. Let me have a look. Yeah, Rob Tyne said, it doesn't look like anything else is going to happen regarding Leicester City, so Ruud's going to have to go with what he's got. Let me load the Mcateer one up. Let me have a look. Right. How do I share my screen with you lot? Share screen. There we go. We're on a roll here, boys and girls. Right. Can everyone see my screen? Oh, there we go. We've got it. Right. Leicester rejects Sunderland's approach for Kasey Mcateer. Leicester have rejected an approach from Sunderland for the midfielder, Kasey Mcateer. Sunderland presented an offer of a loan with an obligation to buy for £8 million, rising to above $10 million with add-ons. This proposal was rebuffed, but Sunderland are expected to return with another offer to Leicester, while Leicester search for a replacement. I mean, I don't see bloody that happening. A product of Leicester's academy, Mcateer has made 45 appearances in all competition for the club and has had spells on loan at Wimbledon and Forest Green. The Republic of Ireland international has featured 15 times this season, including Premier League appearances. So, yeah, so £10 million is what it's made to be. I will get Ant in. Ant, hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, football aside, all good, mate. All good. You?
Yeah, I'm good. But I'm all right considering the stress of this football club. I'm good.
It's one of those. I feel like I should be more annoyed about this than I am, but it's just what I come to expect over the last few years. It's like there's only so many times you can see the same thing and be surprised and feel frustrated by it. I think realistically, every Leicester fan who has an ounce of common sense could have seen this January window coming a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, and surely this window for Leicester would have been make or break, wouldn't it, for the season? Obviously, Ruud did get promised funds and to be backed, as he said. But then in the coming weeks, it's kind of been the case of, he's unhappy, lack of business. Obviously, they've only brought in Woyo Koulibaly, who's probably played about 20 minutes since he's been here in over 2 games. And, I mean, how do you find the whole window as a whole? I mean, 4 or 5 players would have been ideal, wouldn't it, to bring in to really strengthen this squad. Ruud getting his own sort of stamp on this team. But, How do you really sum up the window, and then obviously Ruud having to deal with this team that he's just been thrown upon him?
I think it's absolutely. I think it's like it's disappointing that Ruud hasn't been backed, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Like, look at last January transfer window with Enzo Maresca. I genuinely struggled to think of a January since. I don't know. Like, I'm really struggling to think of a January where we've done decent business over recent years. So, what concerns me more, though, mate, is the fact that we've had offers for players like Kasey Mcateer, players like Luke Thomas, that we know aren't going to be good enough.
Yeah.
We know that PSR is tight. If we sell those players, that is pure profit because they're homegrown academy lads. And we're rejecting offers for them. Daniel Everson's another one. It's like we know we're in a difficult position, but we're shooting ourselves in the foot at the same time, making it even harder than it already is.
Yeah. Ian talks about supported the club for 63 years through thick and thin. We will come back, but fans need to lower their expectations. I mean, the expectations, of course, realistically would be survival, wouldn't it, Anne? But I think anything above that would be, if someone said bloody Europe, I think you'd be laughing, wouldn't you?
You would, and I hear what Ian's saying, but at the same time, let's not forget what the club were pushing the narrative of a couple of years ago when it was going really well. We want to be in Europe every season, this, that, and the other. And it's like, I think we both knew at the time that was never realistic. But I also think that, like, for some of the dross of we are paying serious wages, like 70 grand a week for Yannick Vestergaard. And I know it's a number that's bandied around a lot. I would love to know what other centre backs are on 70 grand a week, because I know Mark Gehi at Palace is on about 40, isn't he? Like, you look across the league, I think you will struggle to find a worse player on the same money that Yannick Vestergaard's on, apart from Conor Coady. So, sort of like, there is money there. We have just absolutely pissed it down the drain.
I mean, it kind of summed us up in the summer, didn't it? You know, spent 25 million, which is probably most of the transfer fund on Oliver Skipp to come in. Cordova-Reid and Ayew have had massive pay rises to come to the football club on what we paid for them. I think Ayew was it about £5 million we spent in transfer money, but then the wages would have been a bigger block as well to go with. But it's one of them. Obviously, you sold Dewsbury Hall as well, don't you, for £30 million to Chelsea. But Cannon's obviously gone now as well, out for £10 million. But it just feels like nothing's been reinvested. It's like we sell these players, but who are you actually bringing else in?
I'll tell you what, the summer transfer window, like Jordan Ayew and Cordova-Reid, I don't think would be bad signings if they weren't there as 3-year deals. They're 32, 33. So I think it's the fact that we've offered both of them 3-year deals. Vestergaard, a 3-year deal at 32. It's like, what are we doing in that sense? Because Vestergaard, we know, like, it's not as if this is a shocking revelation that Vestergaard isn't a Premier League centre back.
No, it's not.
It's like we saw it for years before we got relegated. We saw it for a large part of his time at Southampton. Based on the fact of one season in the Championship, we're now stuck with him for another 3 years. His attitude, by the way, absolutely stinks. Like, absolutely stinks. I don't know. You were there on Saturday as well, Jack. Like, the way that he just throws his arms up when we concede a goal, and the way that he just sort of anyone else but my fault. I cannot stand it. And it's like, we've seen plenty of crap teams during our time.
Yeah.
What I cannot stand is the attitude and the arrogance of this team. Wout Faes is another one, by the way, and I know I'm going off on a side tangent here, but
that's all right. If you feel like you want to address it, and
Wout Faes, another one saying that he wants to go off and leave. Honestly, the sooner he does, the better, because I don't know who has been getting into his head, making him think he's 10 times a player that he is. Like, we have got the worst defence in the league, and the attitude of them absolutely stinks.
Yeah. it kind of sums up the defence as a whole, to be fair. You know, the 4 players that are in the defence at the minute played a part in the relegation last time round, and it's like you're going up into the Premier League and you're stuck with the same players. Obviously, Ricardo's injured. Fatawu's out, isn't it, at the minute to the end of the season. Then you've got Wilf, who's coming back this week. Well, we hope he is. It's just someone's said about mistake after mistake, and it's obviously Georgie talks about you expect the club to be run better, but then if the board are not doing what they should be doing, then it's everything's just a mess from top to bottom.
But you say about Ricardo being injured, you say about Ndidi being injured. Like, that's not a surprise, is it? Let's be honest. When's the last time both of those played an entire season without missing a large part of it? I struggle to think for both of them. Like, it would be a different story. Like, Fatawu's a different one because you can't sort of predict what happened with him. But with Ndidi and Ricardo, it's not as if they're not injury-prone players.
No.
And they're probably our top earners or within that top earners bracket. It's like, rightly so if you're going to get them back to their best. But at this stage, I think their best days are well behind them, and we're offering out stupid money to keep them. And it's like, we've got ourselves in such a situation where we've let so many players leave for free.
Yeah.
I think we panicked in the summer and was like, don't want to lose Vestergaard for free, don't want to lose Ndidi for free. And it's like, we've ended up keeping Ndidi on big wages whilst he's massively injury prone. Vestergaard, who isn't a Premier League level centre back, and it just feels like it's short term decision after short term decision. And like, I don't know if you've heard the old expression of like failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yeah,
that just feels like that sums us up over the last 2 or 3 years.
I agree. Dan says should have sold fast in the summer because you can tell he don't give a shit about playing for us. I mean, £15 million the club want for him. If this did say if they receive 15 million this summer coming up, then they'll sell him. Let them go. Their little Super League. They're all trying to break it away, Terry. I think he's on about Man United, Dan, is there? Ward caught us out with another 3-year deal. Their Vestergaard did unbelievable. I mean, Danny Ward's still here. 6 months left on his contract. Iverson, £17,000, I think he's on. So it's madness, isn't it, how they've got players like Ward who are just sitting on bloody 40, 50 grand a week. And it's like, they're not doing anything.
The thing about Iverson is he had offers to go 2 years ago. He wanted to go as well. And we've sort of haggled over less than $1 million for however long that's been. I guarantee you we've probably paid close to that in his wages by now. Yeah. It's just like, and we're going to see him walk for nothing in the summer. It's like, this internal review, did we learn nothing from, like, we had this situation with Dennis Pratt, where we weren't getting quite the fee that we wanted, but we haggled and negotiated for years, and he walked away for nothing whilst we were paying his wages for another 2 years. It's like, this is why this internal review is an absolute joke that happened the season we got relegated. It's the equivalent of marking your own homework, mate. It's like, yes, like you might have done crap, but you're not going to mark yourself down as like doing absolutely crap. You're going to give yourself a few ticks, aren't you? And say, oh, I can see what you're trying to do there. It's like, if they were serious and they genuinely wanted to sort out the state of the football club, they would have had an internal review, and a lot of people would have lost their jobs after that.
And who were the people who ran the review at the end of the season?
It was Rudkin, wasn't it?
There we go.
So
the guy's untouchable, I'm telling you.
Mate, it's like the most secure job in the world. If I perform like he does in my job, I would not have a job tomorrow.
No. Selling Cannon was, without doubt, pure idiocy given the circumstances. I mean, Cannon probably could have offered something, couldn't he, to be fair? Some people said they'd rather sell Dackard and keep Cannon. How horrendous is our negotiation skills as a club by giving championship players 100 grand a week contracts?
It's like Conor Coady's on 100 grand a week.
Yeah.
And like, this kind of thing probably doesn't bother people when we're winning and doing well. But
No.
I really wish he would just get off a podcast, because I swear, like, if you see 5 Live, any podcast, Conor Coady's on, and it's like he talks such a good game, but it's like it's time and a place for it. And I know it's one of those, some people don't care. For me, it just it's really winding me up. He was on is it Still Ryan? I really like his podcast. Ryan seems like a lovely bloke, by the way. But for me, it's like, just read the room. Just really read the room. And I think he was saying that he travels from
Winderness, is it?
Windus. I don't know, somewhere in Merseyside, isn't it? Most days. Like, how can we be allowing that?
I know. Some of them live in is it Nottingham area? Is it Nottingham? Some of them live.
Yeah, that's not too bad though, is it? Because it's a local sort of commute in.
That's kind of what Rude wants, isn't it? He wants them to be more local, don't he?
But
the training ground and the
to be in Merseyside and having to travel that every single day just feels mad.
Woyo Koulibaly looks so promising. Why don't we have him starting over them Championship fullbacks? I mean,
he can't do any worse, can he?
I mean, Christensen, I believe he's not even a footballer, if I'm honest with you. The guy looks bloody like Ronan Keating out of bloody Boyzone. He looks more like in a boy band than actually preparing to be a footballer.
I feel like Christensen is the best out of a bad bunch in our back four, but it's like it doesn't say a huge amount, does it? Like the best out of the back four. But I don't know, mate. I really don't know, because I feel like James Justin, he's ruined in terms of the player that he was a few years ago because of injury.
Yeah.
I think the centre backs, it's like the Chuckle brothers, like whichever combination of the two of them you have.
Did you watch that Everton video back earlier on? The Everton's uploaded to the bloody Twitter page.
No, and I don't plan to either. And I've been tagged in it a fair few times. I don't plan to. But it's like, I just, like the goals that we conceded on Saturday. I feel like you're very similar, Jack. That
basic
defending. Tell me if I'm wrong with this, but like, we've seen our teams lose, and like, you don't care. Well, don't care is the wrong way to put it, but you can stomach seeing us lose in most games if you genuinely think like you've got a team that's trying, that's doing the basics and really, really like giving everything. I don't think we have with this team. They're not doing the basics. They're not giving everything, and that's all I want to see. And it's like we're not even getting that.
It just feels like you look at Bristol City. I mean, I touched on it earlier. They brought out a statement, didn't they, regarding what's happening at the club and transfers and whatever. And that's something you want to see at Leicester, don't you, on the board, to really address these type of things and say to the fans, well, this is going on, that's going on. Well, we couldn't do this. And then it'll make fans actually understand. But because they're not, and they're so private and so far out of touch with the fans, it makes matters worse.
Yeah, and I think they're aware of the frustration. Like,
I'm all right, James. You?
I think they're more than aware of the frustration, and I think if they'd done this about a year ago, 2 years ago, I think it would probably have gone down really well. Now, I think it will just be like people will just say it's just trying to calm people down at this point. But like, the frustrating thing is, I guarantee you, Rude was probably told that he was going to get funds this window. Yeah, and like, by all reports, that seems to be the case. But he said he talked a lot to Enzo Maresca before he signed. Surely Enzo could have told him about what happened last season. It's not a surprise, but something else that's doing my head in, and like, I know I haven't talked to you on here for a while, is the fact that Rude's seen as some sort of like tactical messiah. He's as bad as Cooper was, and I know people won't like this, but because Cooper sort of, no one wanted Cooper, and obviously he went, Rude's come in. Half of his tactics are the reason that we are conceding the level of goals that we are. Playing Vestergaard and Wout Faes on the halfway line. It's like, what do you expect to happen? I genuinely think, and I believe this wholeheartedly. Dean Smith is a better manager than Steve Cooper and Ruud van Nistelrooy. So we're in a worse place now than when we got relegated originally. Because I think that squad was better and the manager that took us down was better. And I know Brendan Rodgers really was the one that did 95% of the damage. But Dean Smith, Dean Smith's the one with the relegation on his CV. I genuinely, Jack, go through that team that got relegated the first time compared to this one. In terms of talent, it is head and shoulders above it. I think attitude on that team absolutely stank as well. But I struggle to see we've got a worse team and a worse manager and attitudes that stink, not just from the players, but from the board as well. So it is a combination of a disaster, and it could have been so much more. And it's like what I worry about, and I've seen a lot of these sort of comments over the last few days.
Deliberately.
I don't think it's.
There's no actual facts to that, Michael, but some would probably think that's the case because of PSR and that to save themselves.
Yeah, but if we get relegated, mate, then we are absolutely. They are going to throw.
This time they're going to really bite us on the arse. But
the thing is, Jack, and I'm hearing exactly the same talk now as last time we got relegated. Of we'll reset in the Championship, we'll rebuild. To me, a reset and rebuild in the Championship would be completely draining the swamp of getting rid of players like, I'd say, the back four that got us relegated, because they're all still here. Obviously, you've still got Ndidi, you've still got Justin, you've still got a huge core of the players that were here last time. That is not a reset. And the thing is, we will do the same thing again, because what we'll do, if we go down, I don't think we'll come straight back up this time. But if we do, then you're going to have the same sort of signings where we're going to be stuck with Jordan Ayew for a long time because of a 3-year contract. Going to be stuck with Bobby Decordova-Reid, etc., etc. It carries on. And it's like, we're just going to be going in circles. There needs to be something that's going to break this cycle. And for me, that is someone at the top making someone different at the top making different decisions. Because if we keep going like we are, it'll be the same people making the same kind of decisions, and we're going to be like a dog chasing our own tail, just going round and round and round we go. And we're supposedly meant to be surprised that this has happened. And everyone goes on about how fantastic the board and the ownership is. And I'm so grateful for so much of what King Power has done, and particularly under the Vichai ownership. We live the dream. Let's have it right. But it's very telling. It is very telling, and people won't like to hear this. No top quality manager will even look at us now. If the board and the owners were all this singing, dancing like fantastic owners that we're supposedly meant to be led to believe they are, then why is manager after manager after manager rejecting us?
I don't even think bloody Pep Guardiola would come in and sort this team out, if I'm honest with you.
No, he wouldn't sort the team out, but obviously he's it's more the fact of, if the owners are what they are being made out to be, then you wouldn't have managers like Potter, Moyes.
I agree, Terry. Until we reshuffle this board, mate, things just ain't going to change. All they just keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get managers like Potter, etc., just continually rejecting us. But let's be very honest, Terence. Only one person is keeping Rudkin in place.
Yeah. You've got to kind of put your friendship aside. I know they're friends, and I get it, but you've got to be ruthless enough now and take control at this present and say, yeah, maybe your time has come, Rudkin. Maybe we need to move you on now and think for the better of the future of the club. And he can make that decision if he wants to. I don't know why he hasn't.
It's no coincidence Leuven are close to getting relegated as well, is it?
They've got Chris Coleman, haven't they, as manager?
Have they?
Yeah, Chris Coleman. I mean, I ain't seen him in bloody years.
Nah, to be fair, like I don't know, mate. It's just one of those we all have huge love for Top and King Power Group and obviously Vichai as well. But I think if you take that emotional standpoint out of it just for a second and just step back, it's like if they are all that they are claimed and made out to be, why is everyone with any sort of reputation in football rejecting us, or has been for the last year and a half, 2 years?
I just think it's the mess we've got ourselves in. I think they've just looked at themselves and think, well, maybe we're not, maybe this isn't what we want. And then if we get relegated, I mean, Rude is going to look at this and think, do I want relegation on my CV? Do I walk? I mean, there's obviously been speculation about he could walk from Leicester, but you think he will?
Can I be honest? And I know people I am in the minority. I wouldn't be asked if Rude walks. I really don't think he's all that he's being cracked up to be. I really don't. I think that he's very naive in the way that he tries to get us to play with the team that we've got. And if he goes, good luck to him. But I don't think it's particularly a huge loss for us.
Let's be honest. Doesn't matter who comes in. Doesn't matter who is the manager. Same situations. And are we really surprised that we're not going to get any January transfer windows in? Let's be honest, right? And I'll ask you this. I've just asked someone previous, about 10, 15 minutes ago. Take out before 2015, everything. How many signings have we actually made a combination of January transfer windows? Because last year, not. The year before, Ronan Keaton, the Australian Scottish man,
Suter,
yeah, and the Brazilian one-game wonder Tete.
The Brazilian from Stoke.
No, listen, no. The game against Villa, it was prime Ronaldo. The week afterwards was, and me and Jack. I don't know if you were there, Ant, as well.
Yeah.
But no matter how bad he was, that game, he was insane. That it was basically went from R9 to Soldado within a week.
Ian, he probably will, mate. You're probably
not just
right.
that. The year before, 2022, did we make any signings? No. The year COVID season, 2020, 2021 season.
Ryan Bennett on loan.
No, that was the Champions League 2019-2020 season. I'm on about the COVID complete year, you know, with no fans in.
Yeah.
That one. Did we make any signings in January? No. And then obviously you just hit the nail on the head on 1920, Gordon Bennett on loan. So the year before.
That could have happened today.
It was Tielemans on loan
in 20. Do you know what's interesting, Am?
Mm-hmm.
Claude Puel, even though it was Claude the Fraud and stuff, probably made the best January transfer window signing.
Yeah.
As much as we all are not a fan of him, it's a fact.
The thing is, my view of Claude Puel changed massively after the incident happened, like the tragedy happened. I thought he handled, like, the football was dire.
Brilliantly.
He handled
it with such class.
Yeah.
And it's like, I will never not have respect for him in the way that he handled that. Absolutely. And it's like, you know, when, like, the football for me became secondary in his reign as manager.
Absolutely. You know, total respect. I mean, I know things didn't work out, results.
You're going to get big credit for it, aren't you? You know, the way he handled it and the team and everything. I mean, to get them going to play at Cardiff as well and to win that game and have that moment with the fans and the players. And, you know, you just seen how much love with the club is.
Yeah. And the fact that he's made our best January
best manager, but some people say he'd make a good director of football.
You know what? I'd agree on that one. I think. But
he can see the players that he wants to sign. I mean, some of the players he brought in, Maddison, Pereira.
To be fair, I don't know how much of that was him and how much of that was the level above him, because I think we've got to be careful, because I'm guilty as anyone. When we don't like a signing, it's a Rudkin signing, or it's a this, that, and the other. When we like a signing, he's a he's Rude's man or he's Enzo's man. It's like, do you know what I mean? Like, get what I'm trying to say. But the thing is with Claude Puel, and let's be honest, his football was boring as anything at the time.
Morris was the best signing in January.
But he was very good with the youth team as well. Like, you look at his time in France with St Etienne, didn't he? He pushed Saliba through at St Etienne and Fofana. Then you look with us. Chilwell got his debut under Barnes as well. Chowdhury, I believe, as well. He
did.
Chowdhury, yeah.
So it's like just his football that just never really hit off, did it? At all.
But to be honest, like I say, take out Tielemans. Here's another one. Then the year we won the league. Let's just make this clear: Daniel Amate and Damari Gray contributed in the actual. When we made a January transfer, and they won a Premier League medal. Let's just make that clear in everybody's heads. Daniel Amate and Damari Gray have won a Premier League and contributed into when we signed someone in January. Let's just make that clear. The year after we signed Ndidi. I think that's probably the only one that sticks out in there.
For me, Ndidi's the only good permanent signing we've made in January.
Because technically Tielemans was a loan, wasn't it?
So, we very nearly lost him, didn't we, to Man United? Very nearly did.
So
what's been your best January signing Leicester have ever made? I mean, we'll turn it into a positive now because we've had Ant's had his little bit of a rant, as he likes to call it. But what's been your most best January signing for Leicester?
I think
but take out them two.
I'm going to go Robert Hoof because I think without Robert Hoof, we don't stay up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because I don't think any of the next sort of obviously Great Escape, Premier League, FA Cup, none of that happens if we don't stay up. And I don't think would have stayed up if we hadn't signed Robert Hoof.
I'm just on a quick Google search.
What a defender.
Forgotten ones or everything over the years.
Hoof changed everything. I mean, Robert Hoof was a great defender. That partnership with Wes Morgan.
Oh my God, Wes Morgan.
Big Wes from Forest for £1 million.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
There's one for you, Big Wes.
Big Wes. That's
2012.
2012, yeah. Oh, so let's name some then. Let's see if we can name. So Ben Marshall in the same year as Wes Morgan. Now, you ask any Leicester City fan. You ask any Leicester City fan when they said they signed Wes Morgan and Ben Marshall, who would they want to be more successful? They would have took Ben Marshall because obviously Wes Morgan was at Nottingham Forest.
Wes Morgan were,
Mark de Vries.
They'd come in. Mark de Vries were crap. He was we've had some worse players. We have. You look at the 2000 and 2001 team, what Tatapila had.
Oh, Jesus.
He brought in Akinbaye.
That was in the August.
Yeah, he brought in Akinbaye that season. But someone said if you compare this team now to the one back then, what Tatapila had, which one would you say is worse?
Well, this one now.
The players that we had.
You don't ever put Muzzies in a worse team.
No, you don't.
Can't do it. Now, let's be honest. That year we got relegated, 2001-2. I mean, yeah, we had Ian Walker, but the defence we had, everyone was so much far better than us.
Don't get Ross on a tangent, for God's sake.
Oh, don't get me started.
Don't get Ross started on bloody 50k Ward.
Who else have we
Ross,
signed?
you should remember the 2000 and 2001 team.
Yeah, right. I'll go through it. Right. So the year we got relegated. So Ian Walker in goal.
Yeah.
Without looking, Frank Sinclair at right back. I think it was Andy Impey. I think they had a mixture. No worries. Take care, Am. Matt Elliott, and it weren't Taggart because he was out for that season. So it was Matt Elliott and oh my God, who was the other centre back? I can't remember. That's going to bug me now. Then you had the midfield.
We've had Frank Sinclair.
Yeah.
Jerry Taggart.
No, Taggart only played one game that season. He only played one game.
Jordan Stewart. We've had Tim McCann and Michael Price. Damien Delaney. Callum Davidson.
Oh, yeah, Callum Davidson.
Midfield, Stuart Campbell, Darren Eady, Kevin Ellison.
Oh, wow.
Steve Guppy, Matty Jones, Muzzy Izzet, Junior Lewis.
Yeah.
Lee Marshall, Stephen Oakes, Robbie Savage, Danny Thomas.
Oh.
Akin Baye, Trevor Benjamin.
Yeah.
Richard Cresswell. Arne Goodlogson. Goodlogson. Matthew Piper. Jonathan Stevenson. Dean Sturridge. And yeah, that was the team from.
Yeah, these are the ones that we got. I remember now. I'm just having a quick look. So we have Gary Rowett, Sinclair, Tags obviously only played one game that year. Alan Rodgers. We have Robbie Savage, James Scowcroft. He doesn't deserve to be named, but let's just say that he got sacked. We'll call him DW. Yeah. Callum Davidson. Matt Elliott was the captain. Remember that. Lee Marshall, Junior Lewis, Andy Impey, Paul Dickoff. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather take that team than obviously the team that we've got now. Honestly, that's going back a while. So
no, it is.
Let's be honest. Are people, like I said, are people really surprised that we've not made any signings in the transfer window? But we should never ever get our hopes up.
1972 don't a month. What a player!
I mean, my dad.
Frank Worthington. What?
I tell you what.
I didn't watch him in my time. My dad would have had a lot more in watching Frank Worthington. A lot of good things said about Frank Worthington. Brian Dean.
Do you know what's funny about Brian Dean? Right. He didn't actually sign in any transfer. He signed in around about December time, November time. Because he scored against Leeds, I remember.
Right, Ross, let's talk about Conor Coady.
Oh, God.
We'll talk about the last subject. No Conor Coady swap deal for Wolves and Leicester. Bad news for the fans of Genuine. Where on earth did that come from? Deadline day moves. Is that one of the most intriguing deals to be mooted in the last few hours appears to have stopped before it hardly gets started. Wolves and Leicester held tentative talks about former Wolves captain Conor Coady making a shock return to Molineux in a swap deal that would have taken veteran centre-back Craig Dawson, who's 34, in the opposite direction. But discussions were brief, and as things stunned, which is now completely out of the park with this one, the move will not be happening at all. I mean, what was your initial thoughts on that? Obviously, it kind of brings back your circulation of the Ryan Bennett signing. Obviously, Craig Dawson is out of favour at Wolves and very much so with their manager. Conor Coady hasn't really featured much, has he? But he is a leader. I mean, was you surprised? But I think it took everyone by surprise, to be fair. But would Dawson had strengthened our defence? Yes.
And I'll tell you why.
Go on.
You know, he was a leader at West Brom.
Okay.
He was there for a while. And let's be honest, people seem to forget this.
Wasn't he at Barnsley?
No, I can't remember the Barnsley bit. But if I remember correctly, the year we won the Premier League, he scored a goal for West Brom against Tottenham. If it would have beaten Man U, it would have been down to Craig Dawson getting an equaliser against him. You know, he was a leader at West Brom. He did really well at West Ham. And then obviously goes to down the Black Country and obviously goes to Wolves.
Yeah.
Personally, I would have liked it. I'm not saying it would have been the star signing of or whatever. But any defender is better than what we've got now. You know,
he's only on 45 grand. He's only on 45 grand a week. I mean, looked like
obviously, he's just got to feed the family. You see,
55 grand a week. Leicester would have saved sending.
Oh, how does he live? 45 grand a week.
45 grand a week is 2 million and whatever it is for the year. And I'm not going to get the figures up because.
But no,
the thing is, I kind of smelt desperation with that one. I kind of smelt desperation and a bit of a panic sort of transfer. I'm kind of glad it's not happening.
Obviously.
Not that I don't want anybody to come to the football club this January transfer window because, you always have in the back of your mind that you always knew this situation would happen. It's been spoke about a lot and I'm not surprised by it. The situation's happened. Am I surprised Rude's not been backed? No, I'm not because, with how things have gone in this season and how things went in the summer transfer window, spending all that money on one player. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. And, it's like, I don't know, but Craig Dawson, you don't want to be doing deals with your relegation rivals, do you, Ross? Obviously, Wolves ahead of Leicester at the minute in the relegation battle. And it's just a daft decision, isn't it? But it's something that you won't bloody put past the bloody board.
Absolutely. And then obviously, Conor Coady, is he really a leader? I mean, let's just ask that question, shall we? I mean, I'll ask it. What sort of a leader goes on a radio show pretty much every week, talks he talks a game, but he doesn't actually come up with the comeuppance?
He spends more time on podcast than he does on the football pitch.
Talking about, we're all great mates and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with the club and everything.
The change is as good as the rest, but looks like no change in January. We needed to strengthen in January. I think it was desperate that we did with the squad that we got. Speaks well to the media. That's about it. No, that's it. But Ross, what are you expecting then from the next 4 hours and 15 minutes? I mean,
this is what I'm expecting. Every hour, I'm expecting you to do a video. Welcome back to the final whistle. Breaking news, transfer news. The deal's off. The deal's on. I've got Mr. Haircut. And everything, and everything, or whatever. That's what I'm expecting. But you know what? Let's be honest. It's like the last. I said this on earlier when I was.
It's like last season's transfer.
The last day of Christmas, where there's no presents left, no good presents left. So you have to go and get a plastic Barbie doll that's not got a head on it, and you have to give it to him. That's how much desperation that we've had. And obviously. It's honestly, I'm not surprised. I really am not. And I wouldn't expect, this is my prediction. I think after we play Manchester United on Friday I'm actually amazed. I don't even know if we've actually sold how many tickets for Friday.
1,200 I've been told.
Wow. I mean,
go on. What was you going to say after Man United on Friday? What's your prediction?
After that game.
Yeah.
I think over that weekend you will see the corner flag on Twitter, club statement. Do you know what we should have done, Jack?
There's no transfer deadline food review. I'm afraid to pop your balloon in, But no, there's no food review. I won't be broadcasting till midnight.
Do you know what you should do, Jack? You should go down to the ground yourself, broadcast live.
Get the final whistle microphone out and start asking.
Get Ailey to drive you. Say, Ailey, come on, we're going, love. I'll take you somewhere special.
Ross, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Ross. I'll let you get back to what you do.
Before I go, I think that'll be my prediction after the game against Man U. I hope win. I'd love to see us win, but no matter how bad Man U are, they'll batter us every time at Old Trafford. When Max Branning got sacked, we were all expecting us to get a win. And we lost twice in 2 weeks. And Ruben Nistelrooy, ironically, will manage that team. So I'm expecting us to not win on Friday. And then by Sunday, about 4:00, I'm expecting the club statement saying, wow, really? That's my dad.
Yeah.
That is, listen, I've made a statement and I've made a video on this. I refuse to go. And the amount of fans that are not going, I know, speak what you want about the Union FS and stuff. Everyone's got their own opinions on them, but fair play's taking a stand on not going on Friday. And I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody not going. You know, this on Friday, whether we were in a rut or not, with a chance, you know, for a lot of fans, you're supposed to give, what, 15%?
We just can't keep rolling the dices, though, can we, Jack? This is the problem. We can't keep rolling the dices and keep swapping and changing managers, because it's like, the thing is, the managers can only do so much. It's the team who hasn't there. If the board are not backing him and that, isn't it? Ruud van Nistelrooy's walked into a mess, and this is my question. And hoped in January he could actually go and do things and bring his own players to work with, but he isn't. So,
well, this is my question: if Ruud spoke to Enzo about obviously club, wouldn't have Enzo told them about the situation regarding Rutkin and regarding the board, regarding the situation? Because you know, that's what I want to know. Because if
I don't think he has. I think Ruud's found out.
Are you saying that Enzo's basically told him it's good the club, but he's forgot to tell him about the transfer?
Yeah, he's just forgot about that. I've got to go and put the dinner.
Yeah, my prediction before I go in a sec.
Go on.
Look, by Sunday after the game against Man U, if we lose,
you think Ruud?
I think what he wants to do is, I think he wants to wait till that game. As a moment, because all the Man U fans
reception at Man United is a
return. So people are saying, "Oh, he'll walk before window." No, he will walk after that Man United game.
Yeah,
and if he does, we're not surprised. And then after that, you've got the protest coming. In fact, imagine, Jack.
Yeah, right. We'll leave it on that, though, Ross.
Leave it at that.
See you later. Right, that is it from me. We've had an hour, so yeah, we've discussed a lot during this. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this stream. Thanks for everyone coming in and commenting, getting involved as always. You know how it is. Appreciate the support. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks to Ross, thanks to Anne. And yeah, subscribe if you can. Really appreciate it. Man United on Friday. Big up, Chris, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, Friday's Man United away. The return for Ruud van Nistelrooy to Man United. And then we've got Arsenal in the league. And then Brentford. And then so on. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening, whatever you're up to. Up the Foxes. Keep it at the final whistle.
Hi all. Thank you for watching the final whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.